ano po ba natin lalagyan ng free body diagram? So, for us to show our free body diagram here, okay, ang dami kong okay ngayong araw. Good day everyone, welcome to Sir Fox Learning Channel. For today's video, pag-aaralan po natin Newton's laws of motion and friction. Kung gusto mong matutunan ang konseptong ito, panoorin mo ang video ito. At kung bago ka sa channel na ito, huwag mong kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell on para updated ka sa mga susunod ko pong video lessons. Actually, ito. So, our most essential learning competencies for this lesson, Newton's laws of motion and friction, is to define inertial frame of reference, identify action-reaction pairs, draw free body diagrams, and apply the first law of motion by Isaac Newton to obtain quantitative and qualitative conclusions about the contact and non-contact forces acting on a body in equilibrium, and then differentiate the properties of static friction and kinetic friction. So when we say inertial frame of reference, an inertial frame of reference is a classical physics and a special relativity possesses the property that in this frame of reference, a body with zero net force acting upon and it does not accelerate. That is, such body is at rest or moving at a constant velocity. So paano po ba natin i-illustrate itong inertial frame of reference? Ang sabi po dito, possesses the property that is in the frame of reference a body with zero net force. Ibig sabihin, when we say inertial frame of reference, it is a body at rest. Walang net force. Ano ba yung net force? Ano ba yung force? A force is defined as push or pull. So when we say inertial frame of reference, there's no body or no energy acting on it to accelerate. So that is inertial frame of reference. Sabi dyan, such a body is at rest or moving at a constant velocity or pwede ring moving. Pero when we say inertia kasi, di ba, law of inertia by Isaac Newton. Ano ba yung law of inertia ni Isaac Newton? How do we define law of inertia by Isaac Newton? Yes, Marinel.
Law of inertia po, sir, a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will remain in motion unless it is acted upon by an external force or the inertia po.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, pwede rin tayo magkaroon ng inertia on a moving body. For example, itong jeep or bus, kung bus man yan or jeep. Sabi sa definition ng law of inertia, a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will continually move in motion unless there is a contact force that will stop on it. So, anything or anybody, for example, your book on a table, unless no one will move it, it will stay at rest. But an object, according to Isaac Newton, kung walang friction na, which is, ang tendency kasi ni friction is to oppose motion. Diba? To oppose yung motion. Kung every surface of the earth is smooth and probably on a straight line, definitely a body will continually move. But then, because of the friction, ay nahihinder yung motion ng isang object. But in this case, halimbawa na sa jeep, the jeep suddenly stop. What will happen? Syempre, when a car suddenly stop, preferably magchi-change gear yan pababa. Pero what if biglang may tumawid? Pag sinabi kasing sudden stop, yung bigla kang huminto. Dahil biglang may tumawid na pusang itim. Takot yung driver dahil may tumawid na pusang itim. Masamang pangitain daw. So, ang tendency is to stop suddenly. So, ang tendency dun sa mga passenger, what will happen to them? The car will stop, however, the passengers will continually move. So, that's the basic example of inertia. Pero when we say inertial frame of reference, po dito, inertial reference is a body with zero net force or pwede rin a body at constant velocity. When we say free body diagram, our diagram used to show a relative magnitude and direction of all forces acting upon a body in a given situation. So usually you use arrow boxes for you to show that free body diagram. The size of the arrow is free body diagram. In a free body diagram reflects the magnitude of the force. The direction of the arrow shows the direction of the force acting on that body. And each force arrow is in the diagram is labeled to indicate the exact type of force. If it is generally customary in a free body diagram to represent object by a box, yung sinasabi kanina, and to draw the force arrow from the center of the box outward in the direction of the force acting on it. Ano ba yung sunod nito? For example, itong ating picture dito, paano po ba natin lalagyan ng free body diagram? So, for us to show our free body diagram here, so syempre, ang subject natin dito ay si tao. Oops. Okay. Okay, for the person, ito po yung ating iginuguhit dito, yung tao. Ito yung kanyang free body diagram. So itong box will represent the man, okay? And the arrows will represent the forces acting on the man. Okay? So in this the man have the following forces. Definitely, dahil hinahatak siya ng elepante at saka truck, anong force yung meron sa kanya? So definitely, that's a tension force. Ikaw ba naman, stretch ka ng elepante at saka truck. So magkakaroon ng tension force. Yan po ay tension force. And yung downward force niya is the gravitational force. Itong downward force niya is the gravitational force. And ito naman, di ba, nakaapak siya sa ground. Ang sabi ni third law of motion, in every action, there's always an opposite reaction. Pag nakaupo ka dyan sa upuan mo, di ba, pinupush ni upuan yung weight mo. Pero si upuan, pinupush din ng weight mo. So, kung ito ikaw, ayan, pakita natin. Kung ito ang upuan, ito ka, yung weight nito is affected by gravitational force, downward force yan. Pero, sabi po ni Isaac Newton, mayroon pong force that pushes you up equal to the weight of this object. Okay? So, dyan sa inuupuan mo, mayroong force na nagpupush. Sabi po ni Isaac Newton, kung gaano kakabigat, ganun din yung force na binubuhat niya sa'yo. Okay? So, ang tawag po doon, I do believe na discuss na rin yan during your junior high school. Ang tawag po doon is normal force. Okay? So, itong dalawa, probably, ito ay tension force kasi nga hinahatak silang dalawa eh. Di naman natin masabing frictional force kasi nga hinahatak siyang dalawa eh. So, this is the free body diagram. Si elepante, pwede rin nating gawa ng free body diagram. Okay? Sige. I would like to ask kung sinong pwedeng gumawa ng free body diagram ni elepante at free body diagram ni truck. O dito si elepante, dito naman si truck. Free body diagram. Who will do it? Yes, parang nag-isip si Terence. Sige, ikaw. Ikaw yung sa truck, Terence. Free body diagram. You can use yung annotations natin dyan. Yes, ikaw naman Marinel sa elephant. Para hindi ka na mahirapan, you can use the box dyan sa ating annotation, the arrow dyan sa ating annotation, tapos yung text dyan sa ating annotation. Okay? O, Terence. John Terence. Sa'yo yung truck. Okay. O, sino yung sa truck? Hindi daw maka-access sa screen si John Terence. Sino sa truck? Ayan, nag-raise na ng hand si Wilsel. Wilsel, sige ikaw.
Try ko po, hindi ko sure tablet lang gamit ko kaya hindi ko alam kung pwede.
Let us ask Marnel to discuss his free body diagram of the elephant.
Okay po, sir. So, yung katulad din po, normal force and gravitational force, katulad lang din po nung sa lalaki. But then, yung sa elephant naman po, may applied force and then frictional force. So, yung for the elephant's perspective, kaya po naging applied force yung nandito. Kasi parang yung lalaki po, yun po yung nag-a-apply ng force doon sa elephant. So, the applied force is the force exerted on the elephant by the person. So yung lalaki po. And then yung sa frictional force naman, the friction force is the force exerted by the surface as an object moves across it. Kasi yung elephant po nag-i-slide. So parang naano ko po yun, nakita ko po yun as a sliding friction. So though it is not always the case, the friction force often opposes the motion of an object. Kasi po hinihila siya ng lalaki. So yung friction, ino-oppose niya. So yun po yung elephant, yung nandito po sa gilid.
Okay. So you will notice kasi, kung wala kasing frictional force on the ground, preferably matutumba si elephant, di ba? So ang ginagawa ni frictional force, di ba, technically defined as the opposing force, siya yung naghihinder dun sa foot o sa mga paa ni elephant para to stop the elephant. Hindi naman tao. I don't know paano ano yung lalaki at babae. To stop the elephant para matumba. Okay, mag-slide. Kaya meron siyang frictional force. And the applied force, ayun niya, possibly there is an applied force nga kasi nga hinahatak siya ni man towards his direction. Kaya we could say that there is an applied force in here. Okay? However, ano nang nangyari kay the normal force may applied din and frictional force din. Same with, kasi nga pares lang naman sila ng position with the elephant. Okay, what if I will ask you, what are the pairs of forces acting on this illustration? Pag sinabi po nating pair of forces, we are referring to, diba, action-reaction forces. So, sa action-reaction forces, merong mga pairs of forces yan. Halimbawa, normal force and gravitational force, that is pair. So, we will identify, in these cases, ano yung mga forces, pair of forces, na pwede po nating ma-identify. Ano yung mga pair of forces dyan? Sige nga, let me ask Rafael. Halimbawa kasi, when you push the wall, diba, there is a pair of forces. The pair of forces present is, while you are pushing the wall, halimbawa, you use your hand and the wall is the pair of forces. And the forces present is your force and the force of the wall pushing on you. So dito, meron diyang mga pair of forces. And what are those? At saan natin makikita on this illustration? Rafael, can you give one pair? Rafael. Nandiyan ba si Rafael? O bago kay Rafael, Jake. Sige, ikaw, Jake.
Sir, for example po yung sa right side, sir, yung paa po ng elepante, sir, may applied force po. Pero since nasa ground po siya, may frictional force naman po na na-apply po sa paa niya, sir, dun sa ground. Ayun.
Okay. Bilugan na lang natin, no? Yung pair of, isa po dyan is yung paa ng elephant at saka yung ground. Ayan. May pair of forces po dyan. Pwedeng ang pair of forces dito kasi pwedeng normal force at saka weight force. Diba? Pwedeng yun. What else? Kasi yung weight ni elephant at saka yung force pushes up by the ground towards the elephant. Okay? So yung feet ni elephant at saka yung ground is the pair of forces here. Yes, Rafael, you're raising your hand na kanina.
Sir, same lang po sa sinabi ni Jake. Pero kung ano po, tulad po sa ano, elephant, yung sa truck naman po.
Okay. Sa truck naman. Yes, Alex. Ikaw naman, anong pair of force yung nakikita mo dyan?
Ano po, another pair of force po is applied and frictional force po. While
Saan-
yung applied po, kunwari po sa truck, ang ano po siguro, baliktad po siguro yan. Ang applied po is nasa harap kasi hinahatak po niya yung boy tsaka yung elephant. While yung frictional po is yung nasa likod. Since nagkakaroon po ng parang ano nga yun, parang resistance po sa
Okay,
likod
yes.
niya. Ganun
Yes.
po.
So, dito naman ulit. Dito rin. Pero dito, ang direction is paganyan. Ayan. Horizontal. Dito naman, sa sinabi ni Rafael, ang direction is vertical. What else? So, tatlong pair of force na yan. What else? Ano pa? Iba naman, iba. Princess. Princess. Nandiyan ba si Princess? Ano yung nakikita mong pair of forces dyan, Princess? Sunod kay Princess ay si Marcus. Puntayin natin si Princess. Princess, nasan ka na? Tapos, sunod kay Marcos ay si nagtaas kanina? Drexy ba yun? Drexy? Ayan. Ano na, Princess? Wala yatang signal si Princess. Sige, Marcos muna.
Hello, hindi po,
Ayan na.
hindi po ba naririnig kanina, sir?
Hindi po.
Ay, ano po, yung sinabi ko po, ano po, yung sa car po, tsaka po yung sa ground po, ano pala, frictional force po, tas gravitational force.
Nasabi na yun ni ano kanina, ni
Ayun nga po, sir, same lang.
same lang yung nakikita mo. Sige, ikaw, Marcos. Parehas lang nakita ni Princess sa nakita kanina nila, ano. Ikaw naman, Marcos.
Sir, pwede po ba yung tension force from the truck sa sa lalaki po?
Okay, tension force. So, saan ba natin ilalagay yung tension force? Yung dito mismo sa kamay o yung lubid at saka yung trap? Kasi dito may tension force din yan eh. Dito may tension force din. Diba? So, pwedeng dito tension force dyan, pwede ring tension force dito. Drexy.
Sir, yung nakikita ko po yung sa lubid po sa lubid.
Sa lubid.
Sa left end of the right rope po sir. Tapos yung lubid sir, pinupusya po yung rightward yung lalaki po. Tapos the man po is leftward po on the left end of the right rope po sir.
Lubid at saka kamay ng lalaki. Ito.
Opo sir.
Okay. 6 daw na pairs to ng forces eh. Ilan na ba yan? So, ano pa? Marinel, yes.
I think, sir, it could also be the force from the starting from the rope dun po sa may sasakyan and then dun po sa rope na hanggang sa elephant. Since opposite side po kasi yung inaano pag tension force. So,
Okay.
nahihila po yung saan.
Ito naman, kawawa naman yung tao dito. Rope at saka yung from the truck to the elephant. Sobrang kawawa yung tao dito. Pwede? Ano pa? Pwede rin yung sinabi kanina yung sa friction force, di ba? Ni elephant. saka applied force. Pwede rin po yun. Okay? Let's proceed. May clarification pa ba? Erase ko na yung we all know that friction is the opposing force. Pero we have also a kinetic friction, which otherwise known as a sliding friction, and the resistance to motion caused by the contact between surface and object moving against it, where we can express mathematically this kinetic friction as F of K, or force of kinetic friction in Newton, mu of K, ayun na naman yung oras, coefficient of kinetic friction, or which is walang unit, and the normal force, which is the force between the surface in newtons. However, static friction naman is a force that must be overcome before the object start moving. So mathematically, static friction is expressed as force F of S, or F sub S, which is measured in Newton. The mu of S, or coefficient of static friction, walang unit measure, and the normal force, which is the force between the surface, which is also measured in newtons. So the difference between static friction and sliding friction is the coefficient, wherein the coefficient of static friction is slightly higher than the coefficient of kinetic friction. Static friction varies proportional to the external forces, while kinetic friction remains constant, independent of velocity and acceleration and the resultant external force. So as we go along sa discussion po natin sa second law, I think maisasama din po itong static and kinetic friction. Okay?